and Eleanor get back together. Michael and Shawn have a bromance, and we're getting a new Afterlife. All this and more right after this.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
Chidi and Eleanor get back together. Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the good place. Yes! What's up, guys? My name is Shiksha Mahtani, aka Bali Girl, and I'll be your host here tonight. Unfortunately, my fellow panelists cannot be here with me tonight, but that's okay. I know, it is sad, and we will definitely be missing them, but that's okay because I have you guys, and I have Ryan up in the booth who's going to be reading your chat and all your comments.
What's going on, y'all? Checking out the chat. You got Rye Guy in the chat, a ton of awesome people. Billie Jean Girl, 24, Ivan Soto, Carlia, 744.
Oh my goodness.
Comment away your thoughts on this episode.
Awesome. Love it, you guys. So make sure to send us your thoughts. Ryan will be reading those to me. And to get started, we will be talking about, Chidi and his behavior in this episode. We'll be talking about all the different voids that we got to see this episode. And then we're going to be talking about this new Afterlife. Right after that, we're going to be talking about the news and what reference we saw in this episode, because there were so many. That's going to be our special segment today. And then predictions. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Yes! All right, guys, let's talk about Chidi. It was very interesting to see him in this episode because it was so different to what we've been getting all along. He just finally got to see all the different versions of himself. He got all his memories back, and he finally told Eleanor that he loves her. We have all been waiting for that all season. Comment in the live chat if you agree. That's, I know, been a pain point for so many of us this season. And yes, he finally remembers Eleanor. He finally said, "I love you." Simone, who? We didn't even get to see Simone this episode, now that I think about it. But more than that, we also got to see Chidi in his element, teaching us philosophy and really, being the moral person in the episode. And I loved that so much because it really reminded me of all the things that I used to love about the show, going back all the way to season 1. I also thought it was interesting that he was weirdly calm. He was way too calm. It's almost like we got to see season 1 Chidi mixed in with the Chidi we saw in that Chidi axing episode. Do you guys remember that from this season where he was very chill and relaxed? So we got to see a mixture of both, which just kind of shows us how much Chidi has grown as a person and how he's really taken the best of all of his lives and become the best version of himself, which Jason actually said in this episode that he is the bomb, he's awesome, because he remembered everything, and look at him, he's amazing. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you love this new Chidi, the version that we're seeing. Do you miss a different version of him? What are your thoughts on Chidi? Speaking of the live chat, just want to quickly shout out to you guys for being here and at AfterBuzz TV and making us the ESPN of TV talk. We love you guys here. While you're chatting with me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Yes, and hit the like button. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure to hit those 5 stars. Yes, for us. Seriously, thank you guys so much. You guys make us what we are, and we love talking to you guys here every week. So thank you. Ryan, is there anybody saying anything about Chidi in the chat?
A lot of chatter in the chat right now, Shiksha. They're kind of actually talking about Jason. Billie Jean Girl saying, anyone else thought Jason accidentally erased the Earth when he was playing with the clicker? Ivan Soto goes, this new Chidi is a news site. I do like it.
Okay.
It's a little too repetitive, though, maybe for his liking. He follows up with a lot of people going up and down. Guys, give us your thoughts on Chidi.
Yes, I love that. I also didn't even think about that, Billie Jean Girl, where he may have erased Earth, but that would have been such a Jason thing to do in an oh shit kind of moment. Yeah. That would have been really funny. Moving on to the voids about Janet. You guys, we got to see the various different voids, which I loved, because one of mine, and I know one of your favorite things this season, has been seeing all the different Janets. I think that Darcy, the actress, did such a fabulous job playing all these different versions of herself. And when we got to see that scene where all the different Janets were there, was such a cool moment that I didn't even think about wanting to see all the different voids. And we got to see that this week, which was amazing. The first one we got to see was the neutral void, which was interesting. I loved how the judge said that the neutral void are the most nothing. That just stays on brand with the neutral Janet and was honestly hilarious. I loved how it was completely beige and not even white like all the other ones. Then we had Bad Janet and her void. And did you guys notice the Pirates of the Caribbean 2 poster in the billboard in the back? It was awesome. That was such a small little thing, but I loved it. Then you had Disco Janet with all the crazy disco-ness, which was really fun, and they started dancing. And I'm not going to lie, if I had been at Disco Janet's void, I would have been dancing with them. And then, of course, regular Janet's void, which we've seen before, but different this time because now we're seeing how Janet has grown and she has more control over her void, and our favorite characters get to stay there, like they get to look as themselves, and she was able to handle so many people in her void and having a philosophical kind of lesson with the chalkboard in the void. So I thought that was really cool. I'd love to know which of the voids was your favorite. Personally, but for me, it's between the Disco Janet void and the Bad Janet void, but I think Disco Janet wins a little bit more. That was definitely the best void. And also loved how Bad Janet farted even when she was already a marble. That was so true to the Bad Janet. It was just, again, a small thing, but I loved it.
We got a few people in the chat real quick. Shiksha just commenting on that Pirates poster you're talking about.
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
Apparently it said Pirates 14.
What? Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost as if it's like the 14th one to come out.
That's amazing. I thought it said 2, so thank you guys for telling me that, because that's
so
awesome.
Funny.
Yes. Let me know, guys, in the chat which of the voids is your favorite, because I really want to know your thoughts on those voids. And then talking about Janet, she was busy this episode trying to convince the judge about not canceling Earth. And I think that it was amazing to see because we've really seen Janet grow as not a human. Because, and she herself said it in the first season, the first episode, how she was so different than what she is now. And the fact that she's there fighting for humanity and fighting for Earth and trying to get it not canceled is just so cool to see from this not a human, right? And it just shows that even she can grow, even Michael can grow. There was a moment this episode where Michael did show growth. I don't know if you guys caught that, where they were giving themselves up to Shawn to be tortured, and Michael offered himself up too. So that was a cool moment. But yeah, so it was interesting to see Janet fighting for the judge. Talking about the afterlife, so they were trying to figure out what to do. What do you do in that situation? And putting myself in their shoes, I can't even begin to imagine what they were thinking or how you even begin to figure out a new kind of afterlife. That's kind of crazy to just think about. But the writers of the show did a fabulous job because they conquered it, and they really did an amazing job doing this. So shout out to the writers. Yeah, so they started off talking about the middle place, and I'm glad that they did, because I know that in the live chat before and even on the panel, we've talked about how the middle place would really be the best option for the situation, because it really is in between, and that just seems to make the most sense for everybody. So they did address it, and they ended up not going off of that, which I like. They were like, okay, this is an idea, but not the best one. I personally really love what they came up with. They came up with recreating different scenarios that force you to be a better person. So it's kind of like the neighborhood, but it's an individualized neighborhood per person that will help you realize your mistakes as a human and try to make you a more moral and better person, which is very interesting, and I would love to have seen that play out. And I wonder, because we still have 3 episodes left, and the last episode is a full hour long, I wonder if we're actually going to get to see this play out, or if it's just going to be them trying to figure out how to change the afterlife. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're actually going to get to see this new version of the afterlife? And The one thing I didn't love about this new system, though, is the fact that the point system for your time on Earth stays the same. Did you guys notice that? They say that depending on your point system, the points that you get when you're on Earth, that's how difficult the test will be when you come back. And for me, it's like, well, the point system in general was part of the problem, right? Because you were getting docked points for the stupidest things, and it was really hard to get good points. So I don't know. I think that they really needed to address that and change the whole accounting system overall. And the fact that they're keeping it the same and they're just changing the way things are happening after the fact is kind of problematic. I also wonder why this is the first time in the billion of years they're even addressing this problem. How is that even a thing? But again, those are just my opinions on the matter. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Anybody saying anything, Ryan?
We got some people in the live chat all popping off. They said, first off, oh, what if the show ends with Judge saying so and then credits? I don't want to see that. We saw it for like half a seasons. We got Care-Alu744. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that name right. Billie Jean Girl 24. Janet made the actor Timothy Oliphant for the judge and kept interrupting everyone else.
Oh my God, that was hilarious, you guys. That's true. Oliphant was in this episode. That was amazing.
And I mean, they're all talking about whether or not they're considered humans or not. Would you call them humans, Shiksha?
What does it say? Who would be humans? The actual people in the afterlife? Well, they are humans, right? Because they actually lived lives on Earth.
Yeah.
Whereas the other people in the Michael, you had Judge, you have Shawn, they're all people from the afterlife. They're not people who've actually lived a life on Earth. So yes, guys, I do think that they are humans. I think it's interesting that it took humans to fix this problem and not these, what are they, celestial beings?
Celestials.
Yeah, celestials. So yeah, I think that that's a little weird. Also, where are the other 4 people? Why are they not involved? I know that they were eating ice cream. I know we saw that and that they didn't really care, but why not?
I think they're referring to the judge, Michael, and Shawn.
Oh, as in, are they humans?
Are they humans?
No, they're definitely not humans because, no, they can't be. I mean, we've already seen that Michael is a monster. What was he, guys? Tell me in the comments. He was some lava, some big monster. I don't know if you guys remember that. And Shawn is, he heads the bad place. So no, they've been around for billions of years. They've been torturing people for billions of years. There's no way they are humans. But yeah, so I was confused as to why Simone and John and all of them, we've spent so much time on them this season that they were just not part of this at all, those decision making. They're also humans. They've also had to experience the neighborhood. They've also learned how to be better people. We've invested in them all season. So why haven't we seen them this episode? Why didn't we see them help with the whole process of making things better? So I thought that was interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. But in the meantime, while y'all tell me that, let's talk about references, our special segment of the evening. Woo! You guys, there were so many references this episode. It was such a great way to start off the year. I know that, we've been lacking in references the last few episodes, but not today. We'll see if I got them all. So we had season 3 of Justified was mentioned by the judge. You had William Shakespeare, The Pyramids, Timothy Oliphant, Garage Door was mentioned, Judith Shiklar, Ordinary Vices was mentioned, Pretzels was mentioned. In the Bad Janet Void, we had the Pirates of the Caribbean poster, which we talked about. The trolley problem was mentioned by Jason, of all people. You had Taco Bell, Florida, Snapping Turtle, and then Tahani talked about Bruno Mars, LeBron James, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, the Grammys, and she mentioned the song Uptown Funk. Let me know if I missed any, but that is a very long list for references. This show, I wonder if they make a list of references and then just try to throw them in wherever they can in conversation in the writings room. That would be interesting to know. Moving on to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, guys, so Kristen Bell, who plays Eleanor, recently posted a video on Instagram listening to her husband, Dax Shepard, explain the middle finger to his daughter. Here's the clip.
Finger.
He says this is fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Says that every time at school.
He does. He's naughty.
And the teacher says, and he always says, you know what this word is? Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher says, that's a bad word. You should not tell anyone. He keeps telling me.
Yeah, it's not a nice word.
And he laughs at everything I do. When I'm
Finger.
he says this is fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. That was hilarious. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing that moment with us. It honestly sounds like the kid in her daughter's school got some negative points. In other news, you had Jamil, who plays Tahani, recently slammed on Khloe Kardashian for an ad she posted on flat tummy shakes. She literally retweeted the ad saying, blah, 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 eating disorder culture, blah, blah. She has become a true advocate for self-love and will take down anyone who uses social media to feed lies to young girls. She strongly believes that we as a culture should stop fixating on appearances, and she is doing everything in her power to change that. So good for you, Jamila. I wonder if she got any good points, good place points for that tweet. Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, let's talk predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we now have them with this idea for a new Afterlife. I love that bromance between Michael and Shawn. That was probably the best moment in this episode for me because it was amazing. But yeah, Shawn finally broke down and agreed to this new version of the Bad Place. And I wonder if we're now going to see Michael and Shawn playfully fight with each other, but actually get along in trying to figure out a better system. I think that would be such a cool thing to see after all of this. And I think, and I really, really want them to show us this version of the new Afterlife and show us the kinks and show us them trying to work together to figure out how to fix the kinks, because not everything's just going to be perfect immediately, right? So I think that would be very cool to see, and I really hope that they do that in the next 3 episodes. I hope that they bring in the new characters. I know that they're not our favorite characters, but we did spend all season on them, so I do think that they should play an important role in this whole process. Would love to know your opinions and your predictions, so make sure to put that in the comments. All right, guys, so thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you guys liked the episode as much as I did. I will be here next week, and my other panelists will be here with me. My name is Shiksha Mahtani, aka Bolly Girl, and you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Bolly Girl. Make sure to comment and subscribe. Until next time, thanks, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.